Hi Feed. This is Timothy from Mississippi Vegan, and you're watching the third episode of Musings with Mississippi Vegan. Today I'm going to show you a super simple, quick, and easy recipe for bruschetta. I wanted to show you a bruschetta recipe because cherry tomatoes are coming to an end this season, and it's just a friendly reminder to hop on over to your local farmer's market and get your hands on some cherry tomatoes because they're about to be gone. Now, before we head inside to make the bruschetta, I wanted to grab some fresh basil from the garden. So I have variegated basil, lime basil, lemon basil, and I wanted to point out that when the basil plant goes to seed and you get these crowns of green leaves, that's the most pungent part, so you want to use this. Now, the next ingredient that is incredibly important is really good bread. So this is a beautiful loaf of vegan bread that I picked up at my organic co-op in town. They had just baked it. I actually had to beg them for it. It wasn't even on the shelf yet. I went back in the kitchen. Here we have sun gold cherry tomatoes. So these are my favorite variety of tomatoes. They are so sweet and juicy and savory. It's really incredible. So if you can get your hands on some sun gold or grow them, you should absolutely do that. What we're going to do next is, in a mortar and pestle, I've added some olive oil, some garlic, some nutritional yeast, some salt, and freshly cracked black pepper. Now I'm going to mash this into a paste, then I'm going to thinly spread it onto the bread and grill that. So the goal with this mash is we're going to spread it on the bread, and then when we grill it, it's going to create this golden brown crust that's garlicky and buttery and just absolutely outrageous. So let me finish this and I'll show you. Now, I'm hungry and I love bread, so if you're like me, you'll do yourself a favor and you'll cut these really thick. Now, you can cut them thinner if you want it crunchier, but I kind of like it when there's a crispy outside and a nice chewy inside. So as you can see, I spread on a thin layer of that mash, and then we're going to put it face down in the skillet. Oh, hear that sizzle? That's what we want, people. That's it. Now I coated the other side with the same mixture, and then I flipped it. And as you can see, you have this beautiful golden brown crust, and it's absolutely delicious. So when you finish the other sides, we're gonna take this out of the pan and add the topping. Now, like I said, I prefer my bruschetta bread to be a little bit squishy in the middle because it's easier to eat. But if you want it crunchier, then at this point, once you have the golden crust on it, you can pop it in a 350-degree oven and you can toast it up a bit more if you'd like. So this next step is the secret ingredient. It's mellow white miso. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna smear on the thinnest layer, like the thinnest layer in the world of miso, to the point where when someone tastes this, they wouldn't even know. What this will do is it will provide the bruschetta with a pump of umami, and it will give it a little bit of a cheesiness. So it's basically replacing the Parmesan cheese, and instead of being Parmesan, it's fermented soybeans that have been aged for 6 months. For the topping, I sliced the cherry tomatoes in half, I added the fresh basil, and I added some sea salt, some pepper, some lemon juice, and then this is a little bit of thyme and oregano. That's optional, you don't have to do that, but I think it makes it better. So you'll want to give this a nice little mix. You have to use a bright green spatula or it just won't work. I'm kidding. Next up, let's find a really pretty plate to put it on because you should use pretty plates when you eat food. Makes it taste better. How about this? How about this green plate? Okay, so I've plopped the tomato mixture on top of the toast, and you can eat this as is, but if you want to be fancy like me, you'll stud in a few more basil leaves just to make it pretty. So let me show you. And here we have it, bruschetta with sun gold cherry tomatoes, Mississippi vegan style. Now, this recipe is on the Feed website, so go check it out and make it, and tag me in the picture and let me know what you think. If you make this for someone, when you serve it to them, they'll go, "This is too pretty to eat." And you'll be like, "Okay, I'll eat it." And then they'll be like, "No." And so just be aware of that. I want to say thank you to the Feed for having me. I always have a blast. And if you like what you saw, leave them a comment right here and let them know that you want to see more of me because I want to see more of you. I mean, I can't really see you, but you get it.